Scorpio. Welcome or welcome back to my Body and Heart Tarot Therapy. I'm here to do the reading for Scorpio, Sun, Moon and Rising signs for the month of December 2020. Welcome to the end of this year. Hope you're well, Scorpio. We've had quite a ride. It's not over yet. There's quite a lot going on this month. It's quite intense. The moon as your current energy. I was just thinking, and I was just listening to reports around the new moon solar eclipse in Sagittarius coming now on the 14th, 15th, depends where you are on the planet, of December. And right after that, like 2 days after that, we're gonna have I think Saturn moving into Aquarius, leaving Capricorn that's been inhabiting for the past 3 years, I think. And Jupiter is also moving into Aquarius. I think the next day where they're going to have a conjunction there, it's intense. But yeah, I think that this new moon is particularly important for you. So you're probably going to have to do certain themes, and work will show up for you. Anyhow, let's see what's the challenge for Scorpio, Sun, Moon and Rising signs for December. Oh, flew away. Temperance is the challenge. Oh, understandable. Sort of intensity. What is the advice? What's the advice? Page of Pentacles. Wise advice as always. And future energy is the Queen of Swords. Okay, and theme of your reading, bottom of the deck, you have the Page of Cups. Alrighty. Let's clarify these cards. Why is the moon here? What's showing up with the moon? What are we looking at in the shadow, actually? Eight of Cups. Yeah, well, the Temperance here is a challenge. Wow, we've got quite a few. Wheel of Fortune, Ace of Swords, and the Six of Swords. All right, let's move this down a bit to see the cards better. Okay, why is the Page of Pentacles here as advice, my dear? Why is the Page of Pentacles here as advice, my dear Scorpio? The Hermit. Okay. I have a candle burning, and you see it's reflecting right into the candle of this Hermit on the back. Okay, and why is the Queen of Swords here as future energy? Mother of Pentacles. All right, and you have the Eight of Swords with the Page of Cups. Nice. As your theme, the theme of this month for you. Let me take this in for a moment, actually. Scorpio, I think this month you are going to work with your inner child. It's a lot of shadow work that's coming up. Well, it's coming up for all of us with this particular new moon and eclipse. Eclipse always calls for shadow work. Um, Eclipses always call for shadow work. I think you're looking at where your inner child is trapped and is not allowed to grow and not allowed to be. I see this Eight of Swords here. You see there's what is that? The chrysalis wants to grow, yet these swords are holding it back, right? There's like if this butterfly opens its wings, it's going to cut itself from these swords. Swords symbolize the mind, of course, as you know. And this Page of Cups is also the archetype of somebody who's usually quite yeah, you know, the young romantic, the little artist that goes out into the world and wears their heart on a sleeve, and they have a certain naivete around it, and also a certain like neediness when we always need to be engaged in something romantic in order to feel good about ourselves. And I think you're being called this month to look into that part of yourself with a lot of love and acceptance, with a lot of with yeah, that's the key, acceptance, accepting that that thing is there. It doesn't mean that you are a needy person. It doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with you. If you accept that there's this side of yourself that shows up and that's always been buried somewhere, it's been held back because you always feared that this means something wrong about you, then it doesn't have the opportunity to be healed, to be seen, to be accepted, to grow, you know. So this month maybe you're having again the chance to feel that part of yourself. Maybe it shows up in your relationship. I don't know if you're into the holidays season, Christmas, Hanukkah, whatever you're celebrating or not. This may show up a lot, like, okay, how do I feel about things? The inner child, which can be like emotionally unstable sometimes because we start pulling tantrums, and those tantrums are actually important information. Where we feel needy, where we feel like our emotions don't matter, where we feel like pulling on a tantrum, whether we show it externally or not. It's important for us to feel into it and to see especially what story we built around it and how are we holding ourselves back from feeling fully into that part of ourselves and reintegrating it back, reparenting it, and claim that energy back into yourself. Because if you keep it always like away from your conscious awareness because you feel shame around it, or because you feel um, that part is unworthy somehow, or it weighs you down, or it slows you down, or anything, like whatever story you built up around it, how do you keep it stuck? How do you keep it it's going to be the eternal child. It does have the opportunity to be accepted, to grow, and to be taken seriously. Taken seriously doesn't mean that this is the truth, but it means that you take the emotion seriously, you take into consideration that that part of yourself feels the way it feels, and you don't tell it what it should feel. Okay, I basically said the whole reading through this, but let's go step by step. Let's go step by step. As I said, current energy. Maybe you're reading this around the moon, maybe around the new moon. Maybe you're seeing it now. Maybe you're seeing it after. It doesn't matter. It matters the theme. What's showing up for you, and when you're bumping into it is the right time for you. And you see, the moon talks about fears and what's hidden into the shadow. The moon illuminates only a little bit so that we can see our inner landscape, and we have the moon and the dog and the wolf that are howling at the moon, and this little critter here is trying to get out of the water and go on this like long journey into the unknown. And it goes up in the mountains. That means also like it's going to go through challenges of sorts, and it feels the core. It goes out from the water straight on the path. So it feels the code, so go somewhere out there, but it's fucking terrified of these two here, which conveniently sit right out of the whatever comes out from your subconscious. You see that like there's also this fish over here that's coming out from the cup, which feels it's a message from the subconscious. And this, what is this? What's this called? I completely forgot right now. They call it Cancer in astrology, but I forgot the name of the actual animal. Never mind. This creature is also coming from the subconscious mind. It's something that wants to travel, that wants to go, that wants to be reintegrated, that wants to have its journey, that wants to grow and not be stuck in the corner of your psyche. And your own fears are holding it back, right? You're afraid. The thing is, like, the wisdom with the moon card is that the same fears that hold you back can become your allies if you befriend them, if you bring them into awareness, if you take your time to have the conversation, to soothe your fear, not just push it and get away or allowing it to. Because the more you push fear away, the more it has power over you. The more you look away from what scares you within you or what you don't like within yourself, the more it has power over you. That's just that's the definition of how the shadow works. If you're not familiar with that, just look up shadow work, Jungian psychology, things like that. But I'm sure that you must know quite a lot about it by now. And you see that the Eight of Cups also symbolizes like moving away from something, moving away from an emotional landscape that you've been for quite a while, that you're used to, and that does not serve you anymore. That whatever it is, a project, an idea, a person, moving away from that, at least for a while, to take some distance and to see what else is out there. It's also about traveling up the mountains. So I think that you're being called, and you may have the willingness this time to go deep and work with these fears and this part of yourself, of the psyche of your this aspect of yourself that's probably been shoved off into the subconscious at a young age, and start to really look into it, feel into it, validate it, give it space, give it love, give it kindness, give it awareness, give it all that. It's a journey, and it can be an amazing journey. It can be a very beautiful journey. If we are inhabiting not the fear, but the awareness, the presence, the deepest wisdom within ourselves that we all have access to when we take the time to connect, where we know that inherently deep down there's nothing wrong with us, and we can soothe ourselves into accepting, just looking at these parts of ourselves, knowing that none of this is your fault, none of this can or should or has the capacity to damage you or to make you in any way inadequate. It doesn't. That's just the stories that we build around it. And these stories, where do they come from? They come from our parents or our caretakers or our teachers or our environment and culture that picked it up from somebody else and somebody else. But if you look if you zoom out, and the south node in Sagittarius and this new moon in Sagittarius will help you do exactly this, zoom out and start seeing how invalid these stories really are, and how basically silly they can be. Actually, they're just as infantile as the part of us that's being conditioned by them, you know. They're just stories. They're just stories. And this is very empowering once you're able to take that in at a deeper level and take that distance. And yeah, I think this is where you're at now. You're able to take that distance. If you feel like this is the work that you're doing or you're being called to do, go for it, baby. That's exactly what you're supposed to be doing. And I know it's not the most comfortable thing in the planet to do, but it's good work. And as I said, it can turn into enthusiasm. It can turn into really, once we integrate these parts of ourselves and when we allow growth, like this inner child starts beaming with joy, and you're gonna feel that as well. Enthusiasm, joy, curiosity. Where is this path taking me? And befriending these two, the fears, they make them amazing companions on the road once you take it in, once you allow yourself to feel, once you understand the wisdom behind it. There's meditations out there that can help you, guide you through befriending your fear. Look it up. Some of them are very powerful and amazing. And if you give yourself the chance to really go through them, not just do them as as something trivial, you can allow yourself to cry through them, to soothe yourself, to do all that. It can be amazing. Okay, challenge, temperance. These two are very similar archetype because this is the Sagittarius archetype and this is the Jupiter. So it's very, again, very pointing at the Sagittarius new moon. Also, this eclipse, this new moon will is directly connected to the eclipse in June, on June 5th of this year, and I think that was in Gemini, and I think it was a full moon, I remember. And you can look back and see what you were working with at that time, what were you letting go of that time, what were you trying to, what intentions you had back then, and how that manifested throughout these 6 months. I think it's 6 months. Yeah. Okay. Six of Swords, Ace of Swords, Wheel of Fortune, and Temperance as the challenge. These are here to clarify this guy, right? Temperance. And what's temperance? Temperance is alchemic process, balancing out emotional energies, balancing out different aspects of yourself, and bringing them together into transmutation. This is the process of alchemy. And you see the heart here is fire. This is a fire symbol, and it's held at the heart space, and it's held in this like beautiful square, white square, which shows space. It's like the safe space that you create from your heart. So as long as you're grounded and connected and you create for yourself the container of your heart, you're able to do this alchemic process. If you're in your mind judging, if you're in your mind judging yourself and preaching the stories that you've heard from others back to your inner child of how you're supposed to be and how you're supposed to feel, this alchemic process does not happen. But if you approach this from your heart with compassion, with love, with this angelic type of unconditional love, unconditional loving awareness, basically, and willingness to accept without judgment. And you see also this stethoscope here, which reminds us that this is like a little bit of the distance of a scientist that's like starting experimenting with things in general. Sorry for the sounds. I think there's a construction sign near me. I hope you can still hear me. Um, so yeah, it's like having a little bit of the curiosity and the coolness that a scientist would have when they just like start experimenting. It's a very experimental energy, right? This is your challenge, though. I think you're called to do this. This would help. This type of attitude will help, but um, these fears that you're holding are probably, and again I see this like the same image. You see how connected these two cards here, the same image of the water pool and the road that goes up into the mountains. Here you have the moon hovering over this path, like really crowning the whole thing, and the towers. And here you have the sun with an actual crown that's right on top of that path. Something comes to mind. No matter like in darkness or in light. Yes, continue, please. No matter if through darkness or light, you are being guided, divinely guided with an angel here. Trust your path. Okay, that was interesting. You see how this angel has one foot on the ground and one foot in the water. That means that he's feeling into both realms. He's connected to both realms, the physical and the more ethereal, more dreamy world of emotions, which are always a bit more confusing, and of the subconscious and of the mystical and all that. This is balance. This is real balance. So yeah, this may be challenging for you. Because there's change happening. You know that there change will be happening. You have the awareness of this. You get some pretty deep insights, and you understand that there's something that you're moving away from, and that's scary. That's scary for all of us. I mean, you know, the mind, as a, you know, the brain as an organ, and then whatever it creates through its processes. The mind likes familiar. It always goes back to the same old shit that we grew up in, no matter how painful that is, because somehow it determines that to be safer than the unknown. So give yourself a lot of validation for the fear that you're feeling. It is normal to feel the fear. It is normal to feel somewhat thrown off when big changes are being announced, even if they could be, you have the understanding that they're for your own good, and you understand that moving away from something that's been heavy on you for a long time, and moving away from some stories that if they're familiar to you, they're it's still, for the mind, it's still like 10 times scarier than it is to stay in the same gooey pool of icky emotions and critical stories that you're used to. So pat yourself on the back. You're really where you need to be in your journey. I see this owl here. Owl also talks about messages from the other world. So I think that you are getting a lot of messages now from your subconscious mind, from your intuition, from your the gifts coming from there as well. So pay attention, be connected, don't doubt what you feel, don't invalidate what you feel, stay present with it, with this a little bit of a curiosity and detachment, which is hard to summon, but you can. And this is how you can summon it, by grounding into your body, by staying fully present in your body. And yeah, that's not something that can be done easily, especially when we're being constantly thrown off by intense emotions and mind stories that aren't exactly the most empowering of them all. But hey, this is literally the solution. Anchoring in your body, do the mindfulness work. And I know that sometimes it's very tempting to do work that's more into energy work or into manifestations, laws of attractions, all that. You would benefit the most if you get into your body, feeling everything at body level, doing body scans, doing mindful walks, feeling the earth beneath you, feeling the muscles in your body, feeling your heartbeat, because that's disconnecting you from the story. That's allowing you a safe space. But your body is your ground, your body is your safe space, your body is the place where you can be anchored in the present moment. It's your portal, so that you can see all this with somewhat detachment without being completely thrown into becoming the subject of the observation. You can observe from the body the mind, you can observe from the body the story, you can observe from the body the emotions, and this can give you this exact little distance that you need in order to observe. And the hermit talks again about keeping this curiosity, bringing the light of awareness into your darkest places, with wisdom. This guy is also depicted in the weight deck as an old man that goes on the top of the mountains, in some secluded place, in the night, a candlelight, right? Usually it actually keeps the star, holds the star within that light, and that means healing and hope in tarot. In this deck is being depicted like this turtle that's inside its what's this one called, I forgot right now. Well, the house, and it's got the light with on top of it. It means that by retreating now internally and bringing that light internally, you'll benefit the most. But again, if you stay doing this while you're grounded in your body, and take the time to do the inner work right now, take the time to look at the things that you're afraid of. And what will this bring? A lot of clarity, a lot of understanding of what your needs should actually be, ability to communicate those needs, and also the ability to be able to care for yourself, care for the young one within yourself that's really now being more or less trapped into a story of sorts, and reparenting it, really bringing it into like with love, with nurturing, with a good framework for everyday life that can, now we play, now we eat, now we do some exercise. The type of parenting that this part of you did not have because it was shoved somewhere into a basement of your mind, being told that you're not okay. Take that part of you and really nurture it and love it into healing. And that's what you this process that you're doing right now, what this new moon has the potential for you to do, provided that you actually staying present with it and looking into it rather than try to escape it or dissociate from it. This can feel pretty intense, as I said, Scorpio. But hey, Scorpio, you're the master of intensity and transformation. If anyone can do it best, that's you. And it gives you so much back. It brings you, I know it's scary, I know change is scary, I know we're not always that enthusiastic to actually walk the walk, walk the walk through these fears that can be so intimidating. But these cards wouldn't have shown up today if you didn't have the capacity and the ability to go through it. And here's your tip again: stay into your body. It doesn't mean escape into sports. There's a lot of people that think that, okay, if I stay into my body, I go and I exercise forever and I'm going to, but that's also a way of getting high, dopamine and other stuff. It's about mindfully being in your body, feeling everything through the body level, through your senses. It's gonna give you so much information and creating also a container for your practice right now. Grounded in your heart and grounded in your body. Okay, let's see what's the room oracle saying for you. The last message here for my dear Scorpio. The all-encompassing hand. 20. Okay, so the poem from Romeo, it's a long one, says, "You are the essence of my existence. Who am I? A mirror in your hand. Whatever you do, I will do. I am your irresistible reflection. With every breath, I feel my heart is beating with yours. In your joy, I am exuberant. In your sadness, I am in sorrow. If you are bitter, I become bitter. If you are grace, I become grace. My joy is when I am bewildered in your beauty and taste the sweetness of love on your lips. If I pick a rose without you, it becomes a thorn in my hand. If I am the thorn, I become the rose in your hand." Rumi. Beautiful. I'm gonna go straight into this is long. Perhaps you are in need of reassurance, dearest one. Perhaps you have been feeling somewhat alone on your path, or struggling with a matter deep within your precious, beautiful heart and speaking of it to no one. Such loneliness that can foster in the heart. With no one other to bear witness to your life experience, you may question your life, your sanity, your truths, and create doubt where now doubt need be. This must stop now. You are worthy of so much more, and this suffering is not essential for your growth now. It is time to let it be and to open up to the touch of grace. This oracle comes to you as the hand of the divine. It is the all-encompassing hand, the hand that has no limitation upon the blessings it can bestow, upon the troubles it can lift from you, upon the tenderness it can communicate to you through sacred touch. Allow that divine hand to reach for you, beloved. Do not turn it away. Do not let old shame, guilt, or mistaken notions of false independence to keep you from accepting this heavenly hand. This hand reaches to gently wipe away tears of the past. It will deftly unravel the ties that have bound your own hands, preventing you from fully giving and receiving according to your worth, which is incontestable and without limit. This can't be put in words better than this. This hand reaches to gently wipe away tears of the past. It will deftly unravel the ties that have bound your hands, preventing you from fully giving and receiving according to your worth, which is incontestable and without limit. I hope that registers. This divine hand will reach for you in your meditations, your sleep, and your prayers. Hence, the Hermit. It will reach for you through life circumstances, through the smile or hug you receive from another, or the touch of another human being. It will reach you through the song of a bird, the falling of leaves, the soft fur of a beloved pet, through the song lyrics that seem to speak what you are feeling deep inside, or the colorful dress of the stranger across the street who catches your eye and makes you smile. This divine hand is reaching for you now through this oracle. Yes, says the great beloved, I am reaching for you. Yes, I know you. You are my own. I would never abandon you. Perhaps you have turned from me unknowingly, forgotten how much I love you because the world is in a forgetful daze too, and ignores the caress of the breeze, the joyful acknowledgement of every sunrise, and the reverence made radiant in every sunset. Life is the touch bestowed by my hand. Shall you receive me? Let me love you. Let me restore your soul and remind you there is nothing to fear now. Come, lay down your weapons and your fear for this moment. Quit using that mouth to cry for war or to cry in despair. Bring yourself to my table and use that mouth to taste some bold and rich wine instead. Enjoy with me in this moment the unbreakable bond that lies between us. Allow me to bring the cup of wine to your lips. Behind your head, so gently, lies my all-encompassing hand. Know the peace of my love. So deeply can it register with you now that you shall never again forget it. Ooh, that's powerful. This oracle comes with a particular message for you. There may be a situation or circumstance in your life that you may feel is somehow unable to be solved. This oracle comes with reassurance that there is nothing beyond the reach of the divine hand of grace. All can be solved, all can be resolved. There is always a higher, better, more beautiful outcome possible. You are asked to pray using the sacred honoring ritual and to do so with conviction. The divine has the situation in hand and all is unfolding as it should be. Ask for help each day by saying, I ask for help this day in all ways through unconditional love. Thank you. You can be more specific in your request, asking for help in a particular relationship or project too if you wish. The divine wants to lend you a hand. You must ask for help first, however, so ask. Empower that all-powerful hand of grace to bless your life in all circumstances, relationships, and situations that have been or are yet to be for you. And here goes the sacred honoring ritual. If you feel like doing it, go for it. If not, please let it go. Place one hand resting upon the other with palms joined together. Say aloud, through the loving grace of Rumi, brother of my soul, who loves me without condition, these hands are now blessed as the hands of the lover and the beloved, as the one divine hand, all encompassing. I am blessed, protected, nurtured, and received. I am touched by the divine with compassionate mercy and loving tenderness. I call on the hand of grace to touch, heal, bless, and protect all aspects of myself and my life journey. Through divine grace, so be it. Simply rest with your hands in the same posture for several moments, then finish your ritual. If you wish, you may continue by speaking in prayer to the divine and offer up any issue or concern you have. Give it a voice. It doesn't matter how small or major the issue may seem. Talk it over with the great beloved, a wonderful and so responsive listener. When you are finished, place your hands in prayer, bow your head, and simply say thank you. You have completed your sacred honoring ritual. Beautiful, beautiful, my dear Scorpio. I hope this makes sense to you. I hope it registers at some level and that it's been helpful for you. If it is, please like, share, subscribe, comment. get engaged somehow. And yeah, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for doing your work, which is just inspiring and beautiful. And I wish you a smooth journey here. Happy holidays if you celebrate. Happy New Year, and have a beautiful new year, like transition into the new energy that's coming. Sending lots of love, and may our practice benefit all beings.